morning to all. In the previous video, we are discussing about the different types of spillway. In this video, we are discussing about the regulation and cross drainage works. How can we regulate the canal flow using the various components and what are the different cross drainage work when you are crossing the important networks like roads, railways, and canal to canals and the discharge tributaries that are naturally occurs. In this video, we are also discussing about the various types of pole and the different structure used for canal regulation work. Now, let we discuss about the some of the syllabus that we are containing in this module. First, we are discussing about the canal pole, necessity and location, types of pole, cross regulator, and distributary head regulator, their functions, shield control devices, canal escapes, types of escapes, and the various cross drainage work, types, selection of suitable type of cross drainage work, aqueduct, and the siphon aqueduct. Now, we are starting from canal pole. First question are arise in our mind that what is canal pole? Whenever the applicable natural ground slope is steep than the design based slope of the channel, the difference is adjusted by the constructing vertical poles or the drops or structure that are safely moving water or the any fluids from one elevation to another elevation. In the next figure, we are seeing that how the drop is work. Drop in a natural canal bed will not be stable, and therefore, in order to retain this drop, a masonry structure is constructed. Such a structure is called a canal fall or a canal drop. Now, that is the canal fall. In the natural situation, there may be a steep slope, and there may be a design slope. That is the design slope. So from that portion, safely fluid is moving without scouring or deposition. Now, irrigation canals are designed to prescribe the base slope so that the velocity becomes non-silting or non-scouring. But if ground topography is such that in order to maintain the canal design slope, indefinite filling from boiling ground level is to be made. This indefinite filling is avoided by the constructing a hydraulic structure in a place of sudden bed level. This hydraulic structure is called canal fall or a drop. Beyond the canal fall, canal again maintains its design slope. So the canal fall or a drop in a irrigation structure constructed across a canal or lower down its bed level to maintain the design slope when there is a change of ground level to maintain the design slope when there is a change of ground level. This falling water at the pole has some surplus energy. The pole is constructed in such a way that it can destroy this surplus energy. Now mainly we are providing the pole in the canal. Now what are the necessity of canal poles? When the slope of ground suddenly changes to steeper slope, the permissible base slope cannot be maintained. It requires excessive earthwork in filling to slope. Maintain the slope. In such case, poles are provided to avoid excessive earthwork in filling. Now, C is that is the ground surface and that is the canal bed level. If you want to maintain their slope, we have to fill much excess quantity of filling material. We have to use much excess quantity of filling material to fill this gap or providing the design slope. Now, when the slope of ground is more or less uniform and the slope is greater than the permissible bed slope, we have to use fall. In the cross drainage work, when the difference between the bed level canal and that of the drainage is small, when the FSL of the canal is above the bed level of drainage, then the canal fall is necessary to carry the canal water below the stream or drainage. Now see, that may be natural stream and that may be canal. That are the one type of structures, cross drainage structure we are discussing in the next slide. Now types of canal fall. What are the different types of canal fall has been present? Depending on the ground level conditions and the shape of the fall, the various types of fall, mainly used fall are ogee fall. It is constructed by the Sir Proby Coltley on the Ganga Canal. This type of fall has gradual convex and concave surfaces like a ogee form. The gradual convex and concave surface is provided with an aim to provide a smooth transition and reduce the disturbance and impact. The hydraulic jump is formed which dissipates the part of kinetic energy. A hydraulic jump is a form which dissipates a part of kinetic energy. Upstream and downstream of fall is provided by stone pitching. Now see the picture of ogee fall. We are seeing in the picture is that there may be some stone pitching at upstream side and some of the stone pitching surface finished with cement mortar and ogee profile has been created in the ogee fall. Now step fall. It consists of a series of vertical ropes in a form of steps. These steps is suitable in place where sloping ground is very long and require long glacis to connect a higher bed level upstream side with lower bed level at downstream side. It is practically a modification of rapid fall. The sloping glacis is divided into the number of drops to bring down the canal bed step by step to protect the canal bed. And sides from damage by erosion, brick walls are provided at each drop. The bed of the canal within the fall is protected by the rubble masonry with surface finishing by with rich cement mortar. In the other word, we have said that plastering work. Now see the drop fall. That may be a rubble masonry and that is a brick wall and that portion is plastered with the rich cement mortar. So it creates the smooth profiles and erosion proof profile. Now vertical fall or Sharda fall. In the simple type, the canal upstream side base is on a level of upstream curtain wall and canal upstream side bed level is below the crest of curtain wall. In both the cases, a cistern is formed to act as a water cushion. Floor is made of concrete at upstream side and downstream side stone pitching with cement grouting is provided. This type of fall is used to in Sharda Canal UP and therefore it is called a Sharda fall. Now see, it is the water cushion that are the shape of Sharda fall. That is the vertical drop fall and that is the cushion. That is the stone masonry and there are the masonry structure with rich cement mortar coating. Next is the rapid fall. When the natural ground level is even and rapid, this rapid fall is suitable. It consists of long sloping glacis. Curtains wall are provided on both upstream side and downstream side. The rubble masonry with cement grouting is provided from upstream side curtain wall to downstream side curtain wall. Masonry surface is finished with a rich cement mortar or plaster. See in the picture is that is the curtain wall. It is the one type of curtain wall, so it supports the rubble masonry or prevent the erosion. Now see there may be some water, so jump is formed here. Now next is the straight glacis pole. It consists of straight glacis provided with a crest wall. For dissipation of energy of flowing water, a water cushion is provided and curtain walls are provided at toe and heel. Stone pitching is required at upstream and downstream of the hole. Now see the glacis pole. There may be a creased and straight sloping glacis and stone pitching, and that is the curtain wall and that is the concrete bed. Trapezoidal notch pole. It was designed by Reed in 1894. In this type, body of the foundation wall across the channel, consisting of several trapezoidal notches between side pier and intermediate pier, is constructed. The seal of the notches are kept at upstream bed level of canal. The body wall is made of concrete and an impervious pole is provided to resist the scouring effect of falling water. Upstream and downstream side of the pole is protected by the stone pitching finished with a cement grouting. Now see the notch pole. That are the cross section of notch pole. In that abutment is created and some of the notches is created, and that are the seal. Well or cylinder notch pole. In this type of water of canal from higher level is thrown in a well or a cylinder form where it escapes from the bottom. Energy is dissipated in the well in turbulence. They are suitable for low discharges and are economical also. Montague type pole. In the straight glacis type profile, energy dissipation is not complete. Therefore, Montague developed this type of profile where energy dissipation takes place. His profile is parabolic and is given by following equations. So, that are the parabolic and equation of parabola used in the designing of Montague type pole. So, that is the parabolic glacis slope. That is not a ogee pole. Ogee pole shape is a reverse S shape profile, and that is the parabolic profile. So, in this type of shape, the energy dissipation may complete. English or buffalo pole. Here, glacis is straight and sloping, but buffalo wall is provided on the downstream side floor to dissipate the energy. Main body of the glacis is made of concrete and curtain walls both the toe and L easily is provided. Stone pitching are essential both at upstream side and downstream side end. That is the straight sloping glacis and there may be a buffle. So it creates the turbulence and dissipate the energy. That are the curtain wall, that is the stone pitching, that is the stone pitching and that is the concrete bed. It is called English type hall. Now next is the canal escape. It is a side channel constructed to remove the surplus water from the irrigation channel, main canal, branch canal or distributary into the natural drain. The water in the irrigation channel may become a surplus due to by mistake if some of the head regulator may open higherly, difficulty in regulation at head when the we are release the water into the canal. We are not knowing that how much users are take water from the canal. When the some water courses are closed, some of the obstruction is closed. So the actually find of the demand of water is not possible, but it is the estimated water demand. So based on that we are releasing the water into the canal. But when the water level increasing than permissible limit due to not using of water by the cultivators, then we are using the canal escapes to remove the surplus or extra water. It is a structure required to dispose of surplus or excess water from the canal from time to time. Canal escape serves as a safety valve for canal system. It provides a protection to the canal from possible damage due to excess supply, which may be due to mistake in releasing water at regulator or the heavy rainfall at a that makes sudden regular demand of water. The excess supply makes canal banks vulnerable to failure due to overtopping because some of the canal banks made from soil. So the provision of disposing this surplus water in the form of canal escapes at suitable interval along the canal is essential. Moreover, emptying the canal for repair and maintenance and removal of sediment deposit in canal also be achieved with the help of canal escape. Now next is there have been three types of escapes. First is the surplus escape. It is also called as regulator type. In this type of seal of the escape is kept at canal bed level and the flow is controlled by a gate, and this type of escapes are preferred nowadays as they give a better control and can be used for employing the canal for maintenance. Now that is the surplus escape. So then the weir crest is maintained at that HFL level, higher flood level, or FSL level. In the term of a canal, maximum supply level is called full supply level, FSL. So when the FSL is achieved, then over surplus water is automatically removed from the canal, and that are connected with the natural tributary. That are the cross section of surplus escape. That may be gate is also provided when we do not provide a weir. So barrage type of construction may also be possible for constructing a surplus escape. The tail escape. A tail escape is provided at the tail end of the canal and it is useful in maintaining the required FSL in tail reaches to the canal, and hence they are called a tail escape. Now that is the natural drain and that is the weir type escape. It is called tail escape. It is provided at tail point. So when the supply is over, we are opening the weir wall are overtopping with the canal overflow water, and that are connected with the natural drain. Third is the scouring escape. This escape is constructed for the purpose of scouring of excess silt deposited in air which is from time to time, hence it is called a scouring escape. Here the seal of regulator is kept at about zero point 0.3 meter below the canal bed level at escape site. When the deposited silt of the scoured a higher discharge than the FSL is allowed to enter the canal from the headworks, the gate of the escape is raised so as to produce scouring velocity which remove the deposited silt. This type of escape has become obsolete as silt ejector is provided in the canal, can produce the better efficiency. Now that is the scouring escape. That is the groove for gates. We are providing the grooves and fill the whole canal at FSL level, and then suddenly we open the gates. So all the sediments are deposited in the canal beds that are removed from the canal system. Now regulators. Regulators are constructed at the obtaking points are called a head regulator. When it is constructed at a head of main canal is known as canal head regulator, and when it is constructed at a head of distributary is called head regulator. So there is a little bit difference between canal head regulator and the head regulator. Now there been different functions of head regulator. To control the entry of water either from the reservoir or from the main canal, to control the entry of silt into the uptaking or main canal, to serve as a meter for measuring discharge of water, measuring discharge of water. Construction. The component of head regulator depend upon the size of canal and the location of head regulator. It consists of one or more gated research opening with barrels running through the bank for large canal, and regulators are plumed to facilitate the measurement of discharge. Now that are the different head regulators. So when the canals are uptake, then we have provided, and sub distributary are diverted into the main distributary, then we have to provide that type of head regulator. Now cross regulator. A cross regulator constructed in a main canal or parent canal downstream of an optic canal is called a cross regulator. It is generally constructed at a distance from 9 to 12 km along the main canal and 6 to 10 km along the branch canal. Cross regulator is generally used to control the flow of water in the canal, and another purpose is to feed the uptaking canals, to enable the closing of the canal benches on the downstream side, to provide the roadway for vehicular traffic. It is a main function of cross regulator. Now that are the cross regulator that is provided in the main canal are uptaking, so that is called cross regulator. So that are having a gates, but now still it is open, so the flow are take place from there. So that is the main canal tributary are passing from there to some of the portion. For cross regulator, abutment with grooves and pier are constructed parallel to the parent canal. The seal of regulation is kept little higher than the upstream side bed level of the canal across which it is constructed. Vertical lift gates are fitted in grooves. The gates can be operated from the road. Now that are the different location of head regulator and the cross regulator. Now that are the head regulator for increasing the water level or maintaining the water level into the main canal, and that are the cross regulator to control the flow of water level. Now that are the head regulator and that are the cross regulator. That are the uptaking canal at a 45 degree. That is the head regulator and that is the cross regulator. That are the location of component for head regulator and cross regulator. Now that are the another picture of head regulator and cross regulator. Now that are the cross section of cross regulator. So we can see that there may be some of the gate arrangement, and that are pier or the steps to rising from that. That is the roadway. We also constructed the roadway or for crossing the canal by using the head regulator. Now that another figure for head regulators. Next is the silt control device. Scouring slushes or under slushes, silt pocket and silt excluder. That are the silt control devices. Above three components were employed for silt control at the headwork, divide wall, creator, silt pocket. Silt excluder consists of a number of under tunnel resisting on the floor pocket. Top floor of the tunnel is at the level of seal of the head regulator. Various tunnel of different lengths are made. The tunnel near the head regulator is same length of head regulator, and the successive tunnel towards the divide wall are short. Velocity near the silt laden water is disposed downstream through the tunnel and the underslices. Now silt excluder. The silt excluder is located on the upstream side of the diversion weir and the front of the head regulator. So the object is to remove the silt that entered in the sealing basin through scouring slice. Silt ejector. Silt ejector is located in the canal takeoff from the diversion weir at 6 to 10 km in the canal reach. It ejects the silt that has entered in the canal. Now that is the silt control device. That is the tunnels, underslice portion of weir. That is the pier. That is the divide wall. So this when the water are passing over the channel, so the derbies are here take place and sediment, and the water are safely escaped from upper portion of site. That are the tunnel, and that are the tunnel slabs. Now that are the silt ejector. Now that is the silted water, and that is the silt ejector. Now this is the silt ejector. When the water are flowing through that, silt are trapped into that walls, and water are flowing through them also. So some of the silt are disposed of from the main system, and another water are passing through them. Canal outlet and modules. A canal outlet or a module is a small structure to build at the head of the water course so as to connect with a minor or a distributed channel, and it acts as a connecting link between the system manager and the farmer. So I hope you are understanding the concept of canal regulation and headworks. In the next video, we are discussing about the various cross drainage works when we are what type of structure we have to construct when we are crossing the canal or the natural drain or the structures or the canal to canal crossing. How can we uh, develop that type of structure? So I hope you are understanding that canal regulation concept well, and it is helpful for your knowledge. Thank you.